Greeting everyone, welcome again to another episode with the Uncut and Real with Miss Leslie, where I speak about the things that people would like to see but is afraid to see. Let's go. Well, it's a continuation of our election. Well, people, as you all know, yesterday, the 4th of June was our election. The annual stockholders meeting is on the 3rd, that was the day prior. And years ago, we used to always do it like together. We used to have like one meeting, annual stockholders meeting election in the community room. So these people decided just to change it. So that is why they're having stockholders meeting before on Zoom, which, as I told you before, is not right. And then do election, where they have Sandra, Tovin, and them come from elections, ESU from election services. Well, people, yesterday was something else. Well, first of all, I want to big up the manager, Miss Wilson. Even though I don't care for Marion Scott, management company, AK Summit, she was very, very professional during the entire time of the election. She worked and she stayed until like 8 p.m. when the election was done. She caused the peace because a lot of shareholders went down and the name was marked off not to vote. And she was easily located. People could have gone to the office, get her, she will come and let's say, yeah, they are shareholder. She did a very good job. I must pick up Miss Wilson, the new site manager. And you all know I'm straight up. If she's not doing the right thing, I'll say she's not doing the right thing, but she was totally different person to Abby and Carrington, and I must big her up. Thank you, Miss Wilson, for seeing that everything went well. Even though they may still, Sandra, and they may still rig the election and put Unella Perry there. But I'm just trusting that all the new board members who run get onto the board. All right. So I went and voted yesterday, was no problem. I encourage shareholders to come out to vote. Some of them always say they want change, afraid to come out. But my thing is, what I've observed, some of the shareholders leave to go to work very early in the morning. And election voting is from 2 to 8. That has to change. Because I know a lot of people were supposed to come from work, they leave work at 7. And time to reach, and by I'm home by Harry Silver, it's like 8 p.m. So that's still not giving shareholders enough time to vote. And so I just find the voting should start in the morning, just like the general election, like around like 6 in the morning, and then probably stop at 12 for those who have to leave to go to work in the morning and then come back. Because this is kind of not giving the shareholders who leave to go to work in the morning the fair chance to come and vote. Because we have them call me until Leslie, I'm in work, I'm not leaving work until 8:30, I'm not leaving work until 7. So sometimes people go to work and they work 2 shifts and they leave all day. So I just find they should be able to get the opportunity to come and vote. People yesterday, Sandra Tovin, oh my God, Sandra Tovin, like my spirit irritates her demon. Like my spirit irritates Sandra Tovin demon yesterday. Both her demon and Blackwell demon was, my spirit irritates them all the time. And Sandra was terrible yesterday. When I went and voted, she was a little calm. I went in. But then, you know, I have a lot of neighbors who have their cane and a wheelchair. So I assisted them to take them to the community room. So one of them can't see properly. So I proceed to guide her to whatever to do, whatever and stuff. Sandra came and she grabbed the paper from me. No, and I told her there was a cameraman there. I said, I think it's HSH. I have the camera person there or Marion Scott, but they set up a camera person because they claim you're not allowed to tape in the community room. Because Sandra don't want to go on blast. Remember the last time I taped, so she don't want to be on video because you know she's doing wrong. And so beside that, Harris will also have cameras in the community room. And I saw there's a new cameraman there yesterday, so I don't know if HR set them up or the management company, but they were there. So I told the officer when Sandra grabbed the paper, she is so unprofessional, people. Sandra was like so upset yesterday. So it have to be something that she couldn't do this year for her to be so upset, because normally she'd be all laid back and relaxed and be nasty to us as usual. But she was furious yesterday. I don't know if it's this YouTube channel that show her up, but she was furious yesterday. She almost like she wanted to fight me, but you know, I just smile and just smoke out with my incense because you know I don't make these devils. And then Blackwell, oh my God, Blackwell came downstairs. Blackwell is normally locked up in her apartment and stay upstairs and smoke. She 2-pack a cigarette. Respect for those who smoke. Blackwell came downstairs and was looking for problem all by the cardboard. She threw words. Oh, you crossed the people after hold, and she was people. My spirit irritated demon yesterday. So I just laugh and continue being Leslie. So for those of like Blackwell, you need to audition for being yourself. Anybody who know themselves, I love being myself. I love me. Anyway, moving forward, I told you, the few people who run for the board, they were supposed to write something like the shareholder. A lot of shareholders complain to me and say, "Leslie, we don't know these people who are running." But we had to put anybody beside the board. Unella Perry actually run again. People, Unella Perry been on the board for about 20 years, past 17, she and Barbara Tucker. And they still run back again. So people don't want to see their names again, so they were just glad to see these new shareholders' name. So I'm trusting that they voted for them. And those who didn't get to vote, I'm sorry, those who signed the ballots. But I always tell people, when you're sending your stuff to Election Service United, ASU, Sandra, and I don't trust them. I don't know if you all remember years ago when I collected 76 ballots and I sent it in. That's about the 5th time we removed the board here. We had removed the board in the past. But the lawyers and election company and the management always work to keep that board here. And you have to ask yourself, why are they willing to keep this board there for so long? People, you know why? They get them what they want to get them. If the board is voluntarily, why is Unella Perry and Blackwell and want to stay and talk on them for 17 and 20 years? People, they must think they have. It seems like they're getting something. Because they're not doing anything to benefit the co-op. They're not doing nothing. So people barely know the board members. And Blackwell came outside there yesterday, I don't know, probably she didn't have no cigarette to smoke yesterday. She came out there looking for trouble. She locked the playground, pushed the kids out of the playground. And it's like, and the security guard. What's going on with the security guard in the female security guard that is so friendly with the board members? You're here to do your job. Do not get involved with the politics of Harry Silver. And that is why I admire Miss Ann Wilson, the new site manager. She wasn't involved in the politics. She just came and do her job. All right? And the security guards, all they do is just stay in the guard booth with their phone on. There's one named Pascal. Pascal, actually, a tall Asian slim guy. He makes a lot of wrongs. He walks around. But the female security guard gets involved in all the politics on Harry Silver. Female security guard, you know yourself. Whichever one is the female one, stop. You meet Harry Silver politics, you leave it. You don't get involved in the politics. Stop going to shareholders' apartment, board members' apartment. All right? And Madam Disrespectful BB, who come in the office yesterday telling shareholders, and don't listen to that paper, BB, nobody voted for you. They put you there because they inserted you. Nobody ever voted for you, BB Salim. People don't care for you because you're very disrespectful and rude and arrogant and dunce. So nobody never voted. Nobody don't care for you, BB. Always voted people do and knock for them to vote for you all. People barely know the board members. And Blackwell, she too little thin foot. So it's a stick foot. Calm yourself down. Don't harass me. Every time I put the stuff in the elevator, she pull it down. Because doesn't never remind us. They normally remind us of everything. You see how they didn't remind us about our annual stockholders meeting? They didn't remind us, and normally in the elevator, they remind you 10 times. Oh, we come to fix the apartment. Oh, they will tell you everything. They come to, it's a holiday. But they didn't remind you because they want people to forget. They want people to forget. But Miss Wilson, I must say the new site manager, I don't care for Marines because I just told you, AK Summit, but I want to give a big up to her. She was very professional. She was very professional in this election. Nothing like Avian and Victor and them. Because she was Miss Wilson, apparently she come to do her job and she didn't come to get involved in politics, which is the only way it's here. So the security guard, the female security guards, and want to get involved in the politics of Harry Silver, well then expect the consequences behind it. You all come to do your job here. Even the workers and them who working around here. Don't get involved in the politics. You go to somebody's apartment to do your job and just walk off. Is it them say and they say no, do not get involved in the politics while you're working for Harry Silver. You are not shareholders here. Stop getting involved in the politics. And gossiping in people's apartment with the board members and stuff. Stop. Go do all the damn job. Alright, so anyway, people, back to the election. So yesterday now, why is the election going on? I'm sitting down by my building side here and telling people, some of them didn't even know the community room because a lot of shareholders moved in here. So on my thing, I saw Sandra Tovin, yes, the person in charge of election services, walked out on the ramp at 8:10 with Blackwell and Perry. Keep in mind, people, Perry's a candidate. You're not supposed to be so chummy with the candidates. Sandra Tovin, yeah, the same person in charge, the alleged white woman and the election person, who refused us to vote last year, she always dressed in black. She was lovey-dovey and laughing with Blackwell and Perry on the ramp outside the voting site. So people, you see the kind of, you all see what's going on, right? You all see what's going on. Conflict of interest. What is Sandra Tovin? She running the election, laughing and kicking and talking to Blackwell and Perry. And Perry's a candidate for the board. You know? I don't know, this Blackwell, Perry, and BB, very unprofessional. Although I don't care for the rest of the board members because all of them need to go, but they never get Barbara talk any petty shit and certain petty things she might have away. You know, but Unella, Perry, BB, and Blackwell, they need to put in a barrel and roll along a long hill. Alright? And next thing again, two people. What is Blackwell? Blackwell don't have no children. These people have no kids. When you have no children, you don't know how it feels to have kids. These children live here and in the playground. Why would Blackwell go and encourage the security guard to lock the playground? To lock the playground, put these kids out of the playground. Blackwell go back upstairs and smoke your 2,000 pack of cigarette. I know you're lonely upstairs, there's no life. Find something to do. Leave the poor kids in the community. Leave the kids in the community, let them just play and be children. You all don't know how it feels to have kids because you have none. Leave the children. Why would you encourage the security guard to go and lock the playground? Everything they tell her to do, she's doing, and you tell me she's doing her job. No, that's not your job. You know the little kids live here. You see, I took Faith to the bathroom, you still lock the door. Lock the playground, the gate. You security are getting paid to do security job. Alright, you do a security job. Management is getting to do the management job. Stop getting in cahoots with the board members and stop getting involved in the politics. Come and do your job and leave. All shareholders supposed to respect them. You know? And another thing again to people, a few shareholders came to vote and the name was marked out as deceased. Yeah. And then on top of that again, Sandra Tovin asked for a new ballot. Why would you ask for a new ballot in the middle of an election? So the manager, Ms. Wilson, was up and down yesterday, back and forth to call for more ballots. How would you call for more ballots in the day of election? It's either sending your ballot or you come to vote in person. So this is how the election gets rigged all the time. And people, why are we taking an election company to count 287 votes? There's 287 shareholders live here. Some of them are renters, some subletting, and some is shareholders. We don't even know who is shareholders or who is not shareholders anymore. But 287 count people, anybody could count that. My son could count them vote within 20 minutes. Why we need to have an election committee to count 287 and take it out of the corporation and take the Sandra business place to count the vote? People just have to stop. Every year our election in the past, before Unella Perry became president of the board, used to always be counted in our community room after the election. That when I won, I knew the same night. When Unella Perry won, after Monica McIntyre and Roger Bell and them worked so hard to put her there and try to make sure, because nobody didn't know Perry. Because of Monica McIntyre, Miss Monica McIntyre, Mr. Roger Bell, they fight and try to get her there. And she get there and it was terrible to them, which she still is. But we never had that kind of confusion where everybody will come out, we'll greet our neighbor, we'll say hello to who we didn't see in a long time. It'll be a current house stockholders meeting, they might have a little, sometimes you used to have a little fight, but that's okay. But we still gather and we'll vote and we'll know if you win the same night. Sandra Tovin and Perry decided to change that because Unella Perry realized if we gather together, we can remove them with or with cause according to the bylaw. So they don't want us to come together because they want to stay on the board. They want to stay on the Zoom. If you're calling on Zoom people, how would they know that person is a legit shareholder? Your signature and your ID as an act of vote supposed to know that you're a signature of you're a shareholder of record. So if you don't sign in, you have no proof that you're a shareholder. There was about 40-something people on Zoom, or people on Zoom. And I want them to know, according to the bylaws, even though we don't have a quorum, you have to call a next meeting within 28 days. And I will write the chair again. There's nothing in the bylaws that says if we don't reach a quorum, the board remains there. No, that's Perry and them board. That's the makeup shit that they make up. That's what Perry and them make up because they want to stay there. There's nothing in the bylaws which states that if a quorum is not reached, the remaining board stays there. People know that's not the bylaws. Perry and they make up that shit so they could stay there. They love the board. They love the power. They like to dictate. Anytime you and Perry not on that board, they will drop down and die. Because that board is their life. That board is the life. That board is the life. Yeah? So we don't have a quorum, and the quorum didn't reach, and I blame some of you all shareholders. You all is talk you want change, and majority of you all stay up in your apartment. I'm not saying I'm entitled to forget, but I make sure I try to call whoever, I try to stop them on the sidewalk. Sometimes you all are complaining, but you all are not being active to come downstairs and vote. I put notices under everybody's door. Read. People, I know some people work all day, and sometimes when they come back yesterday, they forgot things happen. That is why you're supposed to have a reminder in the elevator. But if I put a reminder in the elevator, Blackwell was personally pulling out every stuff in the elevator. She was pulling out every stuff in the elevator you put up. And management didn't put up nothing to remind the shareholders about voting because they don't want the shareholders to vote, to remember to vote. I had to sit people on the sidewalk in my chair yesterday, and as shareholders come from work, I try to remind them, oh yes, get your ID, come down. Sandra get on terrible yesterday, people. Sandra, as my neighbor who's almost 80 years old, I go down there to help, as I told you. She can't see too well, and I assisted her. Sandra grabbed the paper from me. But at the same time now, Perry cousin bought Olive down. And Miss Olive now and cannot really too strong as before. And it was okay for her to guide Miss Olive. So you all see this discrimination is still happening. She brought Miss Olive down, and I brought my neighbor down who is 80 years old, who can't see well. And she trusts me enough to guide her through. When I reached down to her with a cane and a wheelchair, Sandra grabbed the paper from my hands. Said, I will help her. She didn't tell Perry cousin that, Marissa, whatever her name that came with Miss I think it's Melissa or Marissa. Yeah, she live in 794. As Perry cousin, so I think they're related to Olive. I think so, I'm not sure. She bring Miss Olive down. Miss Olive is who I respect a lot. Miss Olive is an 80-something-year-old lady, and she just like my neighbor. She need assistance. But when she come with Miss Olive, all right, what the discrimination, Sandra Tovin did not get on and react to her. She reacted to me when I came with my 80-year-old neighbor. Sandra grabbed the paper from me. Said, I will help her. When she lead Perry cousin with Melissa or Marissa, whatever her name, to make Miss Olive vote. I'm going to request a copy of the recording because they had some people taping in the community room because they don't want us to work with our phone. So I don't know if it's Marion Scott or the DHR, because I wrote DHR a letter about what's going on. So I don't know if it's them who set up the taping, but we entitled to get a copy of the taping. And when I get a copy of that, people, I will post, and you will see when Sandra grabbed the paper. And I told the guy who was doing the recording, the video took, whatever his name is. I don't know his name is, he was doing the whole video. I said, did you see that? The guy opened his eye wide because if you see Sandra behavior, and this time people, she was more upset this year. So my spirit irritates the demon. Because my spirit is good and protected by my ancestors, so they can't do anything to me. They can't touch me. I'm protected by the ancestors. And when I walk with all of them on my shoulders. So my spirit irritates the demon. Perry might have she way, but she's not like ghetto like Blackwell. Blackwell is like trash. Blackwell and BB is like trash in a black bag. So anytime Blackwell sees me, she has something to say. You know why? My spirit irritates a demon. Because I'm one person. And I fight against all of them. I'm not scared of none of them. And when I said fight, physical fight, I fight for the right of the shareholders. I try to make the new candidates known. I put stuff under everybody's door. And I always tell people when they're sending those ballots, I don't trust it. Because there's a year I sending 76 ballots, certified mail to Sandra, and she said she didn't get it. So that's why I told you 5 times remove that board. I collected 76 ballots from shareholders, and Sandra said she never get it. She got it, but she realized we was voted out of the board. So she's in Aden with the management company and the lawyer, allegedly, to keep this board here. But there's something Sandra was very upset for. and it will reveal itself. It's either she couldn't cheat as much this year, or either we get a quorum. But why we need our vote to be taken out from the committee room? Why? Anybody could count that, people. As I told my son could count them vote, 200 something vote in 20 to 30 minutes. Why we need to take these votes out of the community room and take it somewhere to be counted? We don't trust Sandra. Sandra rig every election. But the management, like now, allegedly the management, lawyers, and the board members love her. Perry, and she was kicking. You in charge of election services, and you kicking with the candidates. This she and Perry walk out. So I'll see the video. Walk with she and Perry, Perry running for the board. But this is what they do. And why is Sandra asking for extra ballot, people? Extra ballot for what? That was strange. And the poor manager have to be back and forth. Although she's doing a job, which I praise that she was very professional. But why you want extra ballot when some shareholders already vote, sending the vote mail by mail, and they come and vote in person? People may tell you what they normally do. Is it shareholder that died? Although the manager said she had the shareholders and everybody that died were alive, I don't think she really know that. She just come. I know who's alive and who's the legit shareholder of records. I know who is the legit shareholders of record in Harry Silver. The manager just came and she's trying. So unless that is why Sandra couldn't really like rig election as much this year, that's why she was so upset. It seemed like Sandra wanted to fight myself. People, my spirituality, Sandra demon so much yesterday. You should see how this woman behave. I have to get a copy of that tape and show you guys. I have to get a copy of that tape and show you guys how Sandra Tovin behaved yesterday. Because I brought my 2 seniors neighbors to vote. One of them forget the ID home. I had to run upstairs and get her ID. When I came back down, they told her she could vote. Because as long as the manager say he could vote, she knows who the shareholder and she knows the legit shareholder. Why you will say no even though they have an ID? You'll make them 80-something-year-old shareholders go back upstairs to get ID and then hurry up. It's 7:55. I have to run up and get my neighbor ID. People, come on. Some of these people living here 40-something years. And then when I come to vote, they was like, you don't need an ID. No, I went up for my ID. How much people will tell you don't need an ID? I proved to them I went upstairs for my ID and come back down. I'm going to do things the right way. So when the camera pick me up, people, I'm going to tape go and get my ID. Sandra, you're not going to trick me. So this is how the rig election, they have people that vote that is not really shareholders, but will still allow them to vote according to who they know. And people, why you not a Perry, who's supposed to be a candidate, is around the voting site? Why is she around? But at least I was bringing the shareholders to vote, even though I voted already. I was assisting my senior neighbors. But Unella Perry and Blackwell was very uneasy yesterday, people. And guess what I saw yesterday? Jackson, yeah, the famous Jackson we fight and to put on the board that go and sleeping behind, and like not sleeping people, sucking up behind them. I saw Jackson and Jerry, people. I was up and down fighting with Jerry and Jackson to be on that board, and what they did, because Perry threatened to sue Jackson, he got scared. But I think Mr. Jackson just like power though. Mr. Jackson was a wrong thing, although he said he and Jerry don't really have a voice on the board. But I think they just like being on the board even though they're not effective. Because I heard they say that when people go to the board, Perry and Blackwell run the board, so they don't really have a voice. But I used to write to the shareholders and let them know I don't have a voice. I used to communicate with shareholders. We put you there and they go on there and do the same wrong thing they're doing. These people don't even keep a meeting. All they want is just the power to be on the board. They say, I'm a board member. I'm Master BB. I'm a board member. I'm a board member. Baby, nobody put you there. You was inserted. People and shareholders don't care around here for your baby Salim. They complain all the time. They say rude and nasty and hostile. And yes, you are. And yes, you are. So people, let's see what goes on with the election. In the general election, we always know who win the same night or the following morning. Our votes, our ballots was taken out of the corporation. So we don't know what, even though Mr. Brabble, the few shareholders that run, Stephanie, Mr. Mileno, Mr. Grimes, and Mr. Bramble, I think his name is here. I just wish they could get on the board because I think they will make a difference. I don't know them personally, But I think some of them observed what was going on yesterday. You see? Imagine a shareholder went and vote, and they put his mother deceased, and he's the shareholder to vote. Mark it off in yellow. So I don't really understand what's going on. That is how the rigging take place. But anyway, shareholders, people, I won't say shareholders, people, let's see what comes out of this election. Let's see if it's really rigged. Because you know what they'll do? They'll try to prepare you still. Even though the voter asks, how they'll put you still. So let me see the really rigged. Let me see what really goes on with this rigging. All right? So again, like, subscribe, and share. I'm out. Peace. Ashe.